is also another good option just for support as we practice today. So maybe placing a little bit of support underneath your head might feel good. Otherwise, you could also use blocks or rolled towels underneath the thighs just to support your hips in whatever opening you have. So comfortable laying down position on our backs is where we'll start today. And then we'll take a couple of cleansing breaths. So nice deep breath in through the nose. And then open the mouth, big heavy exhale, let everything go. And then we'll do that again, nice deep breath in through the nose. Big heavy sigh, let the breath out. And then just let yourself come to your space today. So wherever you are, taking time to be on your mat. And just kind of meet yourself where you're at today. As we practice, I invite you to be kind to yourself. So thinking about poses and options for poses and just really making whatever pose you have or we're doing today, just making it available for your body at this moment in time. So our intention for this week is self-study, which comes up for me as sort of a coincidental time, as I was just feeling as though I could really use some additional self-study just to kind of figure out where I am. I think that's always something that kind of cycles through our lives, kind of meeting our mind and our bodies where we are. So just a quote from the intention of the week, which can be found in the daily briefing. Self-study is about making time to know ourselves better. The more honestly we know ourselves, the more we are able to be in control of our moods and our emotions. We are increasingly able to distinguish between reactions that sit well with our hearts and reactions that we would rather avoid. So sometimes looking a little bit deeper at how we're responding to things and why we're responding to things can allow us to know ourselves a little bit better. Sometimes this can be in the form of a moving meditation like yoga, or a seated still meditation focusing on breath or gratitude. Just beginning to listen to yourself and notice the thoughts and the actions that you have. So as you continue to breathe on your mat today, laying on your back, I invite you to deepen the breath into the lowest part of your belly. Notice the expansion of the belly with each in-breath, up towards the ceiling, and then the falling of the belly down towards the earth as you exhale. And continuing to breathe deeply, notice the sensations that you feel with each inhale and exhale. Notice the areas in your body where you feel the breath. Notice any emotions that you feel as you breathe a little bit deeper. Does it allow you to feel calm, at peace? Do you feel a sense of love or gratitude? Maybe it brings anxiety or frustration for whatever reason. So not making any judgments about what you feel as you notice the breath, but just allowing the breath to flow just as your feelings about breathing flow in and out. And then keeping in mind that we can use the sensation of the breath and that belly breath kind of throughout our day, depending on what we're feeling like and what comes up for us today, or at different moments in time. So as you continue to breathe deeply, laying on your back, I invite you to create an intention or a dedication for your practice today. Maybe placing one hand over your heart center, bringing that intention to the center of your chest, into your heart, breathing deeply into it. And then we'll take one more cleansing breath, inhaling through the nose. Big, heavy sigh, exhale through the mouth. And then if you chose to take reclining bound angle pose, go ahead and just slowly bring your knees back up towards the ceiling. Place the soles of the feet on the mat. And then arms down at your sides. Nice neutral spine, just walking the shoulder blades underneath you just slightly and turning the palms up or having the thumbs up towards the ceiling. We'll just do some coordinated breath with some gentle arm movements to start our practice today. So on an inhale, you'll sweep the arms up, overhead. And then as you exhale, you'll release the arms down at your sides. And just feel free to take your time as you move the arms. So inhale, the length of your inhale, sweep the arms up. Notice how much of the back of your body you can connect to the earth here. As you exhale, slowly drawing the arms back down at your sides. We'll do that a few more times. So inhale, nice long, slow breath. Sweeping the arms up next to the ears. And then exhale, slowly releasing the arms down at your sides. Take about 5 more cycles at your own pace. Inhaling, sweeping the arms up. And exhale, releasing the arms down at your sides. And focusing on nice, long, slow, deep breaths. When the arms come up over the head, feel that expansion through the rib cage, especially in the front and the lower portion of your ribs. And just notice the ribs maybe coming together as you bring the arms down at your sides. Maybe take one more breath at your own pace. Inhaling the arms up. And then exhaling the arms down. And then next, take your arms out to goalpost arms. So palms are going to be up towards the ceiling. If you need to modify, if you have shoulder issues, feel free to do that. And then we'll toe heel the feet out the width of the mat. On an inhale, let the knees be up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, start to windshield wiper the legs, dropping them to the left. Gaze to the right. Inhale, knees back to center. Exhale, knees to the right, gaze to the left. So as you continue to rotate here, starting to bring some rotation into the spine as well as the hips. Just do what range of motion feels good for you and try to keep your shoulder blades connected to the mat. So maybe starting to feel some length into the torso, into the side bodies, into the spine, maybe into the neck if you have restrictions. Just do your best to flow with your breath here, and you can pause in any of these locations if you need a little bit of extra time today. Just remembering to be kind to yourself. I'll take one more rotation on each side, and then we'll meet with the knees up to a neutral spine, or knees up to a neutral position up towards the ceiling. And then go ahead and extend your legs out nice and long. Reach the arms up over the head. Take a nice deep breath in. Total body stretch. And then as you exhale, we'll step the feet to the right and sweep the arms to the right. Big C shape through the body. If you want, you can cross left over right at the ankle, but take a couple nice deep breaths into the left side of your body. Just pause and breathe here. And then coming back to the center, uncrossing the legs, reaching fingertips to toes, taking up as much space as you can. And then on an exhale, stepping the feet to the left, C-shaping the arms to the left, breathing into the right side of the trunk. And the whole right side body. Think about getting a little bit longer on that side. Good, coming back into center one more time, full body stretch. fingertips to toes, nice deep breath in. And then as you exhale, knees to chest. Just start to massage out the low back here, rocking side to side or making some small circles on your mat. And then reach down for either the instep or the outer part of the feet and just press into gentle, happy baby. Still rocking from side to side, or you can alternate straightening one knee at a time if that feels good. And again, just meeting yourself where you're at. So if you're not feeling super flexible right now at the beginning of the practice, then maybe you modify this pose. And then when you're ready, we'll bring the knees and hips to 90 degrees. So lower legs are going to be parallel to the mat. And just pause and breathe. Think about drawing the navel into the spine, and we'll place the hands palms down on the mat. We'll start to bring some activation around the midsection. And then you can drop the legs about an inch lower, maybe noticing a little bit more activation around the midsection, pulling the navel into the spine. And then one more time, drop them down a little bit lower. If you start to arch off your mat through the low back, then you can just bring your legs back up towards that 90-90 position. Good, and then come back to 90 degrees at the hips and knees, lower legs parallel to the mat. And then this time we'll take the hands opening up through the chest, bring the fingertips back behind your head. And then on an exhale, you're gonna draw the right shoulder to the left elbow and straighten your right leg. So yogic bicycle. On your inhale, you'll always come back to neutral. Exhale, switch sides. So just taking a few slow, controlled movements on each side, beginning to activate through the midsection, the obliques. Shoulder reaches towards the opposite knee, and that opposite leg straightens out. You can modify the range of motion depending on how you're feeling today. Just continuing to move at your own pace. Good. We'll take 2 more times on each side. Slow and controlled, neutral spine, shoulder to the opposite knee. Continuing to breathe here, and then we'll hold at that neutral position, 90 degrees. Bring the arms back down at your sides, and then a couple more coordinated breaths. Take a break if you need it, otherwise neutral spine, belly draws in. As you inhale, sweep the arms up, keep the legs the same. As you exhale, release the arms down, maybe start to lower the legs slightly. One more time, inhale, sweep the arms up, hold the legs where they are. Exhale, lower the arms down. Good, stay here, lower the legs slightly more, don't let your low back come off the mat. Last breath, inhale, sweep up. Exhale, release the arms down, straighten everything out. Stretching all the way out, full body stretch, big abdominal stretch here. Letting that go, breathing deeply. And then as you exhale, go ahead and roll over onto your stomach. So coming over onto your stomach, bringing the arms down at your sides, your head and neck in neutral. On an inhale, modification of Locust Pose. So you're going to lift your chest up and your head and neck and your arms. Floating everything, keeping your head and neck in line with your spine. And then drawing the shoulder blades towards the spine. As you float up, and then as you exhale, release everything, turn your right cheek to the mat. So a little back body activation here. And then we'll do it again this time. Float the arms, maybe float your feet as well. Lifting everything, activating the entire back body. Focusing on some core strength today. Reaching fingertips for the toes, continuing to breathe. And then exhale, release, turn your left cheek to the mat. One more time, any variation of locust. Inhale, float the arms. If you want an additional challenge, you can send the arms up to that V shape overhead. Otherwise, keep them down at your sides, reaching for your fingertips. Notice the activation in your back body. And then as you exhale, release everything, right cheek to the mat. Take a couple nice deep breaths here on your stomach, inhaling and exhaling deeply, and just notice how you feel. When you're ready, we'll make our way up into tabletop. Bringing the hands underneath the shoulders and the knees under the hips. We'll start to take just a few cycles of cat and cow. So inhale, drop the belly, look forward. Exhale, tuck and round, cat pose, and feel free to take any modifications as we warm the spine a little bit more. Inhaling to cow, exhaling to cat. Good, one more time, inhaling to cow, exhaling to cat, and then we'll come back to a neutral spine position here. Scoot your right hand just a little bit more forward than your left. And then we'll extend the left leg back, rotate over to your right hand and knee for a modified half moon. So grounding down through the outer edge of your left foot, reaching your left fingertips up for the ceiling. Option to float that top leg, pressing that heel gently back, or optional hip opener, either pulling the heel towards the butt or pressing your foot into your hand for more of a back bend. So if you're pressing your foot into your hand, try to keep your knee in line with your hip. Good, pause and breathe, gazes up or down. If you chose to grab the foot, release it, float that leg, reach through the fingertips. And then as you exhale, release the left leg, take that left hand, slide it all the way under the right for thread the needle. Cheek and shoulder blade to the mat. So hips are lifted here, back to your knees, hips up, pause and breathe. And then inhale, big sweep with the left arm back towards the sky. Exhale, set it down, tabletop. Neutral spine. This time, scoot the left hand a little bit more forward. Belly is in, right toes go back. Rotate over to your left hand and knee. Outer edge of the right foot is down. Right fingertips reaches for the sky. On that bottom hand, think about turning your elbow crease towards your thumb. So you're having a little bit more activation around the shoulder girdle. You can try floating the top leg or reaching for the foot. So quad stretch will be heel to the butt, a little more of a back bend. Heart opener will be pressing the foot into the hand, but be mindful to not kind of pull that lower leg up or down. So really neutralizing the hip here. Gazing up or down, micro bend in that left elbow. Good, if you chose to grab the foot, release it, float everything up. Nice deep breath in. As you exhale, release the right knee back down. Take that right arm, slide it all the way under the left, thread the needle side to. Cheek and shoulder blade to the mat on the right side. Pause and breathe into that twist. Good, deep breath in, sweep the right arm up, and then exhale, send it down back to tabletop. When you're ready, walk your hands a little bit more forward, tuck your toes under, and press into downward facing dog. So lifting your sit bones up and back. Create space here. So we're having a lot of space between the hands and the feet. If you want to check your spacing, you're going to shift your shoulders over your hands and come into plank pose. You should not have to adjust hand to foot position as you shift into plank and then back to down dog. So that's how you can assess your spacing. Turn the elbow creases towards each other in down dog, ground through the hands and feet, and just do whatever feels good for your body. So our intention, we talked a little bit about today, is self-study. So as we make our way into each asana or pose today, see what comes up for you in a non-judgmental manner, and just make the pose available for your body today. On an inhale, bringing the feet back to a neutral position, about hips distance apart, head and neck in line with the spine. Deep breath in, again, reaching the right leg high, maybe opening the hip a little bit, turning and looking to the right if that feels good. Just some options in three-legged dog. And then sweep that right leg all the way back to the sky. Big step forward, come up to runner's lunge. A hand on either side of that front foot. Think about driving that left heel back, pulling your belly in, top of the head is forward. Good, keeping the left hand planted, reach the right arm back. Nice, easy twist. Gazing back at that right hand. Take that right hand, set it on the instep of the right foot, set your back knee down and come into lizard pose or lizard lunge. So dropping the front of the left hip down, the right knee out to the side. So getting a little bit of an inner thigh stretch here. So you're kind of rocking out to that outer edge of your right foot. Good, bring that right foot back in, plant both hands, curl the back toes under, downward facing dog. And just pedal out the feet a little bit, ground down through the hands and feet. Notice how your body feels. When you're ready, inhale the left leg high, three-legged dog. And just like you did on the first side, maybe finding a little bit of rotation into the hip, gazing to the left, whatever feels good for your body today. And then sweep that left leg all the way up to the sky, reaching through the ball of the foot. Big step forward, coming up to runner's lunge. A hand on either side of that front foot. Belly is in, back knee is straight. So lots of energy in that back leg. Planting the right hand, inhaling the left arm back, following it with your eyes. Back knee stays straight the whole time. Perfectly fine to set that back knee down if you'd like. Pausing and breathing as you twist. And then as you exhale, slowly come out of it. Left hand comes to the instep. Set the back knee down and come out to the outer edge of your left foot for lizard pose. And you can set your hand there. You can look back to the left if that feels good. You can add a little bit of movement into this pose. Thinking about lengthening around the pelvis here. Good, slowly bringing that foot back in. Take a hand on either side of the front foot. This time I want you to curl your back toes under and step forward. And then toe heel your feet out towards the width of the mat and come into a wider leg forward fold here. And as you do this, you can grab onto your ankles or reach your fingertips for the floor, but play with a little bit of weight shifting. So toes are slightly inward. Heels are towards the long edges of your mat. And just start to appreciate some length in the back as well as the hamstrings. Softening the back of the neck. Relax your face and jaw. We'll take the left hand and move it over to the right leg or ankle. Inhale the right arm up, twisting again. Gazing up at that right hand. And then as you exhale, release and forward fold. Switching sides, we'll take the right hand to the left ankle or leg. Inhale the left arm up to twist. Beautiful. And then exhale, release to forward fold. Toe heel your feet back in so they're hips distance apart. On an inhale, come up to a flat back. Halfway lift. Notice how you feel. Tummy is in, neutral spine. As you exhale, round and fold, collapsing generously, chest down to the thighs. Good, again, inhale, flat back. Halfway lift, belly in. Exhale, generously fold, chest towards the thighs, bend your knees. Press into your feet, take your time, come all the way up to stand. Pedal out those feet once you're standing. Roll the shoulders back a few times. And then bring the palms forward. Take an inhale, sweep the arms up, take a little back bend. As you exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, flat back, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, press through your feet, sweep all the way up, look up, little back bend. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, flat back, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep all the way up, look up. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Moving on to Sun A. Inhale, flat back, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step it back to plank and pause. Breathe in, set your knees down on the mat, lower halfway, chaturanga. Release to your tummy, inhale, lift your heart. Baby cobra. Exhale, tuck the toes under, downward facing dog, hips high. Ground through the hands and feet. Notice the ground beneath you. Looking forward, walk, step, or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, generous fold. Inhale, all the way up. Exhale, forward fold. Ride the breath all the way down. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, plant your hands, step or hop back to plank. Breathe in. Exhale, lower halfway from the toes or the knees. Chaturanga, low push-up. Inhale, any back bend of your choice. Exhale, downward facing dog. Sit bones lift up and back. Ground through the hands and feet. Looking forward, walk, step, or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, sweep all the way up. Look up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands, step or hop back to plank. That vinyasa series, or skip it and press back to down dog, you choose. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg to the sky, three-legged dog. Exhale, step it forward, rise to triangle pose. So you'll pivot the back heel down, set your right hand on your lower leg or floor on the outside of that right foot. Left fingertips float up. So your whole back body is contacting that imaginary wall behind you. Good. Reverse triangle. Sweep the left arm, send the right arm back. Big side stretch. Pause and breathe. Good. As you exhale, make your way to half moon. So right fingertips to the floor, left leg floats up. Try opening that left side of your chest, maybe taking the left hand, wrapping it around your low back. Foot is flexed on that lifted leg. Good. Pause and breathe. One more inhale. As you exhale, big step back with the left foot, come to plank pose. Vinyasa or down dog. Inhale, back bend. Exhale, downward facing dog. Ground through the hands and feet. Inhale, left leg high. Exhale, step it forward, triangle. Pivot the back heel down, rise. Right fingertips reach up. Pause and breathe. Micro bend in both knees. Exhale, reverse triangle. Left palm to the back wall, big side stretch. Pause and breathe. Good, one more inhale. Exhale to half moon. Left fingertips to the floor. Right leg floats up. Try opening that right side of your chest if that's available to you. For an additional challenge, turn your gaze to the right wall. Good, nice activation in both legs here. Foot is flexed on that right leg. Take a breath in, giant step back with the right, come to plank pose. Good, vinyasa or downward facing dog. Always welcome to come to any resting pose of your choice. Pause and breathe in down dog. Take a cleansing breath here. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. Looking forward, walk, step, or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come all the way up. Look up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, sweep up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, plant your hands, step or hop back to plank, vinyasa, or skip it. Press back to downward facing dog. Pause and breathe. Inhale to plank pose. Good, pause and breathe. Notice the activation in the midsection here. And then walk down to your forearms for forearm plank. You can do this from the toes or the knees. Press into that middle part of your back. And then rotate over to your right arm for side arm balance. So here you can be on your feet or you can drop that bottom knee down, whatever feels best for you today. Good, slowly releasing back, forearm plank in the center. Pause and breathe, draw the navel into the spine, slight tailbone tuck. On an exhale, come to your left arm. Right side of that pelvis floats to the sky, pause and breathe. Perfectly fine to set the bottom knee down. Exhale, forearm plank. Pause and breathe. Good, set your knees down, lower your belly to the mat and come into Sphinx Pose. Press gently into your forearms, lift your heart. Nice passive back bend here. Lengthening the tummy muscles. And then exhale, extended child's pose. Big toes together, knees wide. Arms can be up overhead here, or you can tuck them back at your sides, whatever feels best for your body here. Once again, just noticing how you feel as we move through these poses today. Noticing the quality of your breath. Notice if thoughts come up, if you're able to let them go, or if they're staying with you during the practice today. And just take a moment of gratitude for coming to your mat today. And then when you're ready, make your way up to hands and knees. Take a couple cycles of cat and cow, but I want you to walk your wrists back so they're a little bit closer to your knees. And then on an inhale, drop your belly to cow. As you exhale, press into cat, and then press into the tops of the feet to hover the knees for super cat, C-shaping the spine. We'll do that 2 more times. So inhale, cow pose. Exhale, press into cat, hover the knees, C-shaping the spine. Set the knees down, inhale, cow pose last time. Exhale, cat. Press into the tops of the feet, hover the knees. Notice that activation in your midsection. Good, slowly release down. Tuck the toes under and walk your hands back towards your knees. We're gonna do a couple trials with crow pose today or prep for crow. So if you feel up to doing that today, perfect. If not, just play with shifting your weight a little bit into your hands. So you're gonna hover at the back edge of your mat. So toes are gonna be tucked under, you're gonna be up on the balls of your feet. You're gonna plant your hands, spreading your fingers nice and wide, and bend your elbows so you're creating a little bit of a shelf with your arms. So as you do that, you're gonna round into that cat back pose like you just did, and tuck your knees on just above your elbows. So they're kind of resting on your upper arm. And this might be the position that you just kind of play with, shifting your weight towards your fingertips and then back towards your feet. So the key in crow is that you're gonna create that nice C shape through your spine. Keep rounding your back as you look forward towards the top edge of your mat. So you have to look way forward so you can start to find that sweet spot when your weight's gonna come off of your feet. So pause and breathe, either play with weight shifting or allow the feet to come up. If that's not available to you, don't worry about it. Release is child's pose. So play with it a few times and then come back into child's pose. Again, the two biggest tips for crow are big rounding in the spine and looking way further forward than you probably think you need to. And then trying your best not to muscle up your feet, but just to allow that pivot point, that balance point, let your feet come up off the ground. And then just letting that go without judgment. As you come into child's pose or another restorative pose of your choice, take a cleansing breath. So inhaling deeply through the nose and exhaling through the mouth. And then when you're ready, you can go ahead and make your way into sitting. We'll just do a couple other seated postures here today. So we'll bring the soles of the feet together, come into bound angle pose, drawing the legs in if you'd like. Take a nice deep breath in to lengthen the spine, and then walk your hands forward. A little bit of rounding in the spine here, gentle forward fold. We'll bring the hands over to the left side here. Opening up into the right side body. And then walking the hands back through the center and then over to the second side. And then coming back to center one more time, fold and pause here. When you're ready, slowly walking your hands back in. Bring the knees back up to a neutral spine, and then bring the hands underneath the shoulders. One variation of upward plank. So you can either have your knees bent in like this and lift your hips up, or you can straighten your legs. That feels good, and lift your hips up. So a little bit of heart and throat opening. On an inhale, you'll press into your feet, send the hips up. Gaze is up towards the ceiling, activating the glutes and the back body, lengthening across the chest and shoulders. And then as you exhale, release everything. Go ahead and make your way down to your back, however you'd like to get there, either engaging your belly or rolling through your side. Once you're on your back, draw the knees back in towards the chest. Just rocking gently from side to side. And then we'll come back to that happy baby or wide leg straddle that we started our practice with. So reaching down for the instep of the feet, or you can take your peace fingers and wrap them around the big toes. Pressing the feet into the hands, happy baby or wide leg straddle, any variation of that pose. Just notice the difference maybe that you feel From the beginning of the practice to now, notice maybe some additional opening into the hips and the legs. And when you're ready, slowly drawing the knees back into center. Pull the forehead up to your knees, give yourself a nice tight squeeze, and then release everything onto the mat for your final relaxation. Savasana, corpse pose. Tuck the shoulder blades underneath you. Allow the palms to be up towards the sky, blinking the eyes closed or lowering your gaze. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Cleansing breath through the mouth. Surrender to your mat, yogis. Take a few moments of peace and stillness. Gratitude for coming to your mat today, for dedicating this time for self-care and self-study. You are strong. You are confident. You are loved.